A is for
acrobatic. No.
A is for
Oh no, honest.
Hey there, welcome to Queer Kid Stuff. I'm Lindsay, and this is our very first Storytime episode.
Oh, Lindsay face, how long have I waited to respond to a video of yours? As you can see, I have decked myself out in complete hipster gear, such as yourself, because imitation is the highest form of flattery and I want to be honourable with my response. However, that one thing that I can't quite imitate is that lovely shit-eating grin that you have.
We're going to be reading A is for Activist by Inosanto Nagero.
Now I know that no one really wants to hear that intro anymore, so allow me to just tweak it a little bit.
My head, they hot like popping off the fucking block. Now clocking wristlet, watch been bailing out my brain. Red light flash, them stop I smash.
A is for Activist. Advocate, abolitionist, ally, actively answering a call to action. Are you an activist?
So this book is basically encouraging kids to be activists for this particular ideology instead of just having imaginative stories read to them like normal parents should do. And this is some sort of call to action, I guess? This is a call to action for children. Are you encouraging children to pick up a hammer and sickle as soon as they finish reading this?
B. B is for banner, bobbing in the sky. Billowing in the breeze, 'cause you're not shy.
We are Borg.
Resistance is futile.
C. C is for co-op, cooperating cultures. Creative counter to corporate vultures.
Wow, you're already trying to drill into kids' heads that vulture thing? Look, this can be done well. That is, showing kids complicated things that aren't really a black and white issue. For example, the Lorax, like the really old story, the original story, and the really old animation, not the recent one. They did it really well. The difference is the Lorax confronts kids in a kind of way that just makes them question the world around them, but doesn't necessarily completely brainwash them or anything. It kind of just presents them with a question and tells them that this question is something you will find a lot in life. Whereas this just tells you something and then asks you to repeat it.
Oh, and cats. Can you find the cats?
No, Lindsay, we're not in your house, so I can't see the cats.
D. Little D democracy. More than voting, you'll agree. Dictators detest it, donkeys don't get it.
And that is why it's so hard for SJWs to grasp.
E. Equal rights, black, brown, or white. Clean and healthy is a right. Every place we live and play, environmental justice is the way.
That's pretty okay. But you're gonna ruin it with the next one, aren't you?
F. F is for feminist.
Oh dear.
For fairness in our pay, for freedom to flourish and choose our own way.
Fairness to go your own way, except when men go their own way. Then it's a problem, right? Then it's wrong because they shouldn't have that choice. Then it's perfectly fine to ostracize them and attack them more, further justifying why they needed to go their own way in the first place.
G. G is for grassroots. Sprouting up from below, sharing nutrients and the water's flow. Below the surface, we're all connected, stronger together, we grow.
This is one of the creepiest Borg-like comments I have ever seen so far. It says that if you break off from the roots, it implies that you'll die.
H is for healthy food, a human right. Honeydew, jicama, nature's delight. Hummus, hot dogs, Havarti cheese. Hot dogs? Yes, healthy hot dogs, please.
Excuse me, healthy hot dogs? Hot dogs are not healthy. What are yours, made out of grass or something?
I, Indigenous and immigrant. Together we stand tall. Our histories are relevant. An injury to one is an injury to us all.
Okay, we're gonna overlook that other creepy Borg comment. Fun fact, I am an immigrant. I moved from South Africa to where I am now. I don't believe in this policy of just letting everyone in. I think that there should be a screening process, just a simple one to see who you're letting into the country. That's just common sense. And that's not me saying that you should just close your borders off completely. That's not me saying that at all. That's just me saying that you should have common sense. And apparently that's racist because we should be letting everyone in. So when an SJW calls me a racist for saying that, I can just tell them I'm an immigrant, and then all of a sudden they just run away. That's pretty interesting.
J. J is for justice. Yay for justice. Jiajing Jiang, Juanita, Jamal. Justice for the janitors, justicia for all.
Why janitors, specifically? Have you been watching too much T1J?
K. Kings are fine for story time. Knights are fun to play. But when we make decisions, we will choose the people's way.
Why is it worded that way? I don't know. There's just something odd about that, but I can't put my finger on it.
L. LGBTQ. Love who you choose, 'cause love is true.
That's a pretty good message. Please don't ruin it.
Liberate your notions of limited emotions. Celebrate with pride our links of devotion.
Why are you telling children that? You sound like a pedophile. Like, liberate yourself from limited emotions, embrace the new experience. All of that stuff it sounds so creepy. Don't tell children that. Don't force them to do that. Kids are supposed to just not really think about it in that way. They're supposed to just live their lives while it develops normally. Why are you trying to encourage them to... What does that even mean?
M. Megaphones marching, movimiento music, hip hip hooray, it must be May Day.
I know she's saying May Day as in the two separate words, May Day as in the celebration, but it just sounds like May Day. Like the emergency thing. I don't know, I just think it's funny. I don't know, I'm just picturing her with that really weird grin on her face celebrating like the emergency thing, May Day. It just seems too perfect.
N. N is for no.
Consent.
No, no, no. Yes to what we want. No to what must go.
Well, I tried to say no, but your video is still playing.
No, no, no.
I get the point. No. Why are you saying that so much? Is that bear trying to rape you under the desk or something?
O. Open minds operate best. Critical thinking over tests. Wisdom can't be memorized.
That's a good point.
Educate, agitate, organize.
Agonize and organize people to do what? Like you're supposed to get people riled up for nothing so that you can manipulate them and organize them into a group?
P. Peace march. Protest. Pow, power to the people. Q is for question. Questioning coercion. Querying qualities counter false assertions.
But if you say questions are important, why then do people get shouted at educate yourself when they try to ask questions to people? There are so many examples of people being asked to clarify what male privilege and white privilege means, but then being told to educate themselves because it's not my job to tell you.
R. Radical Reds, the headline said. Ruinous rioters, the rumors spread. Rabble-rousing riffraff. Really?
Yes, radical. This isn't a new thing. People keep saying that feminism was originally this perfect thing and now it's not. But it is and has always just been this kind of crazy thing. It's always had this core message, at least in my view, that men are the evil perpetrators instead of just society as a whole not quite knowing what it's doing. And it's always had this weird goal of just destroying things and rebuilding things exactly the way you want it and pushing out everyone else. I have this video that I want to get done about the Russian Revolution and that kind of thing, and there's this particular person I want to focus on. It just shows you how the whole idea of feminism and kind of Marxism and all that sort of stuff was always together, and we have a habit of highlighting the particular good people in feminism and saying that they're the representation of all feminists, especially in the past. But there were a lot of crazy people. And there was always this idea that work is a good thing and love is a bad thing because love is involving men and all that sort of stuff. That was still there back then. I don't really see why feminism is shown as this good thing when it was always like this. I don't see why it being crazy was shown as a new thing when it's always been like that.
S is for sun. Soul, solar, superstar, stellar power, fuels all life, not just flowers. Energized homes, cars, and showers. Silly, selfish scoundrels sucking on dinosaur sludge?
Sucking on dinosaur. Jesus. Pornhub's not good enough for Lindsay. She's very niche in the market.
T. T is for trans. For trains, tiaras, tulips, tractors, and tigers, too. Trust in the true. The he, she, they, that is you.
The thing that makes me most uneasy about this book is this idea that there's just like random words in this book that are just rhyming, and then this political stuff that's just shoved in there as well. Like just innocent things and propaganda shoved in together. Like it'll say B for bottle and then it'll be fine, and then it will go along to the next one and suddenly it's like T for twink or something that shouldn't really be shown to kids. Like S was kind of okay if not strange, and then we're just back into the propaganda immediately afterwards. It's just not okay.
U is for weekends. U is for workers' rights. Wait, that's not U, that's W. U is for union. Union, yes.
One of the things that annoys me the most about this sort of thing is that they just present you with words and tell you it's a good thing. Like, blank, yes, like she just said. And you're supposed to just accept it without it being explained to you what it is. Like, regardless of if it's a good thing or not, it's just shown to you that way.
V. V is for Vox. What? Did you say Fox?
No, I said Vox. Did you say Vox? Vox. No, Vox. Rocks, blocks, socks? Vox. Vox of the people. Voice of the populace.
Better go see the letter D.
As an amateur writer myself, one of the things that annoys me the most is the book equivalent of padding the running time, or I guess padding the word count. It's one of those ideas that you feel like you have to have a certain word limit, so instead of going back and rewriting everything so everything is relevant, you just shove some words in at the last minute and then send it off like it's fine. It's not fine. You can clearly see that's what it is, and it's annoying, and it takes away from things that you actually can do. It's also especially annoying when there are things that you could have used that word count for, such as explanations, and you don't give any, but you use the extra words to just put in fluff and stupid shit. This box socks rocks shit isn't cute. You're just padding the word counts, and you're even then not using it sufficiently because you could have used those words to explain things more instead of just going, go back to this letter. People, when you are writing and you feel like you want to pad the word count, go back, rewrite stuff, and see what you missed and what you need to put in. Don't just put in words for the sake of putting in words.
W. Wondrous world. Wondrous we. We cannot be whole. We cannot be free unless we delight in diversity.
With the amount of Borg shit in this book, I'm thinking that it's not actually written for kids, that it's written for adults and disguised as a book written for kids. Like, the tense of it is for adults that like to be infantilized and like to have their points shouted back at them. I mean, I've seen a lot of queer kid stuff fans are actually adults, so maybe it's just some sort of weird kind of group that's going on here that's not actually for kids.
X. X is for Malcolm, as in Malcolm X. History's lessons can be complex. Remember Parks, remember King, remember Malcolm, and let freedom ring.
Yes, history is complex, so why act like it's all black and white? Why act like it's all good and bad? Why act like it can be simply solved with some sort of utopia vision? Why act like every single person that you just listed is completely perfect and never went overboard and never did anything wrong? Why act like ostracizing people and telling them to check their privilege? Why act like you can just rewrite it to your own whims? It's complex, so why act like it's not?
Y is for you. And youth, your planet, your rights, your future, your truth. Y is for yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Interesting that for the entire book there was all of this stuff focused on you being an activist for other people, and now all of a sudden it's all about you. Like before it was about human rights and stuff for other people, and it was calling you to be an activist, and now all of a sudden it's about you. What does it want?
Z. Z is for Zapatista, of course.
Again, why I think it would be for adults. There's no explanation for any of this whatsoever. It's just, you should know what this movement is and what they're fighting for. Unless it's trying to open a dialogue up with kids. In that case, why not just open the dialogue up yourself instead of having this weird book, unless you want to push propaganda onto your kids? I don't understand. This is just really strange how it's written, and I don't know, it's just wrong. There's just something creepy with it being read like this. It's like I'm watching Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared or something. Okay, so I've been wanting to do this thing for a while where I take a recording of me when I'm really depressed and then like put it up so you guys can kind of see what it's like for someone with depression. Say if you don't have it, or if someone you know has it and you kind of wanted to see what it's like. And also because people with depression, like hearing someone else with these thoughts helps you because it makes you remember that you're not alone. There's this video by Paul's Ego called A Window, and when I listened to it like a year ago, it actually really helped me. So I figure if I do the same thing, it might help someone as well. It'll also kind of be there just in case you're interested in stuff, like if you're interested in psychology and want to see it for that purpose, that'll be up there as well. I'm just kind of warning you guys about it for when it goes up because I know it's not always helpful for people. Like sometimes when other people are depressed, they don't want to see that sort of stuff. So when it pops up, if you think you're not up for it and you don't want to see that, then don't listen to it. Like if it's gonna make you feel worse, just don't listen to it. Just go find something else that will actually make you feel better and don't feel like you have to watch it. I'm just kind of warning you that that's gonna pop up. I'll put a message at the front of the video as well just to kind of tell you this is what's going on, and then I'll play the recording. It's just basically gonna be me when I was really depressed. I basically took out just my phone and I started talking about what was going through my head and what kind of thoughts go through someone's head with depression. So it gets pretty dark and it's pretty rambly, but that's what it is. I'm just kind of saving it for now, figuring out how I'm gonna exactly do it or present it. So yeah, it's gonna pop up at some point, but I'm just letting you know now. Everything is fine though, like everything will just be normal. Please don't think that when it pops up something's gonna change or that I'm really bad with my mood or anything. I'm fine. But at that point I wasn't, so I just decided to do a kind of recording of it. Also, I might be perhaps doing a Steve Shives mockumentary at some point, maybe, kind of. I have my exams coming up at the moment, so I'm taking that as a priority first, but I perhaps maybe will be starting the Steve Shives documentary at some point. So I'm gonna end with that.
Come along now, my friend. It's time for me to show you to your room.